Nick. How's it going?
Great, Josh. How are you?
I'm doing well, thanks. Last year, between Marc and Serge, you pretty much always had a center on the floor. With those two gone, does that sort of enable you to try some different things with your lineups a little bit more? Maybe go smaller a little bit more often, like you did a little bit in the playoffs.
Yeah, probably. I think, a lot of that stuff, Josh, I think we want to be able to, in case we need to. I would continue to say things like, most second unit bigs are of the smaller variety or pick and pop variety, which, then kind of throws you into that second unit wise. I think it just, again, depends on who's on the floor, who we're facing night to night too. But I just, I think things are trending that way, right? So I think you need to be able to play that way, like there is the odd team here or there that you want to play really big, going back a couple of years now to the Philly series, right? The Sixer series, who knew that going big was going to be the right thing to do until we kind of found ourselves in that situation. So again, my standard answer would be we want to be flexible. We want to be able to play big. We want to play small. We want some versatility.
Do you anticipate going with Aron with the starters out of the gate, or is that spot still up for grabs, or do you see that position being more fluid, as you just sort of alluded to?
I anticipate going with Aron at this. You're asking me right now. That's what I would do. Yeah.
Thanks, Nick. Appreciate it.
Yep. Thanks, Josh.
Hey, Nick. How are you?
What's up, Mike? Doing good.
Good. Wanted to ask you about Malachi. I mean, you had, five practices now? Is it 5? Whatever. What have you seen from him? And, at this stage, can you say, is he a guy who could even help you this year?
He's been very, very good, Mike. Very, very good. He's got a, great head for the game. He's a kind of a baller. Really knows how to play, understands a lot out there, and he's got some fearlessness to him. He's got a shooting component. He's got a finishing component to his offense. And yeah, there's a chance that we could use him this year. I don't ever like to get too carried away too early with new guys, as you know. Mm-hmm. Because there's a long way from summer league and then to preseason and then to preseason games and then to real games and things like that. But I would imagine this weekend you'll get to see him, and we'll get to start making some evaluations. I would imagine he'd get a good chunk of minutes this weekend in Charlotte.
And I'm guessing with you've got Fred and Kyle there, high end basketball IQ. Does he fit in nicely in that regard? With that same sort of, does he bring that same sort of, thought process to the game?
Well, yes, I would say at this stage and comparatively to their stages in their careers, I would say, yeah. I think all he needs is some years and some minutes to kind of get up to their level. Like they've logged a lot of them, right?
Yeah, exactly. All right. Thanks, Nick. Stay well.
Yep. You too, Mike.
Hey, Nick. Good to see you.
What's up, Mike?
Sticking with Malachi a little bit, and this is maybe more broadly for rookies. We see their college stats, we see their measurables, all those kinds of things, which are interesting. But when you're actually working with a kid or watching him work, what stands out to you as a guy who gives himself a chance, who maybe separates himself a little bit from you got to have talent to get drafted. But what keeps you in the league? What gets you a chance?
Yeah, I think for me, Michael, pretty clearly, 2 things. One is competitiveness, right? Like how they going after it and how do they value winning or finding ways to win or doing the little things required to win, right? Mm-hmm. How much do they fight to win, right? So that's all that to me is competitiveness. And then the second one is knowing how to play, right? Knowing how to play. And I would rank, from what I've seen in 5 days here, I'd rank he's got both of those things.
That's good. That's good to hear. Norm was speaking very highly of him as well. Do you kind of watch and see how some of the veterans react with a young guy? Do they kind of appreciate him, or are they kind of rolling their eyes at him? That's probably a bad sign.
No, I think they're from what I've seen, they've been, some of those guys are real early morning workout guys to get their individual work in real early, come over in the morning. And I know they started pulling him in there pretty quickly. I think about day 2 or 3 to come with them. So I think that's always a good indication and also a good sign.
Appreciate it. Thanks, Nick. Have a great afternoon.
Yeah. Thanks, Michael.
Nick, what's going on?
Not much, Eric. How are you?
I am splendid, thank you. You mentioned yesterday that you'd like to have some role certainty when it came to the notion of an 8th man. I'm not going to hold you to that during the year, but why do you sort of feel that would be better than sort of going by the sort of committee approach that happened last year?
Yeah, I just think that to give somebody a chance to probably improve more. I mean, obviously, right, you get kind of locked into those roles, you get those minutes, and you kind of can figure out, different matchups, different game plans, different ways, things you got to do if you're getting those consistent minutes. And that's really it. And I don't know. I kind of did it by committee last year because that felt like the right thing to do. And I guess, I don't know. I just think that maybe there's a chance for somebody to grab the spot, not let go of it, and run with it a little bit and improve a lot between now and the end of the year.
On a different note, I know Terrence has a court date tomorrow. Do you know if he's going there and if he's going to be available on Saturday, or if he's supposed to go to New York for the court date, and if you expect him in Charlotte on Saturday?
Oh, it's no, it's virtual.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah.
So you expect him with the team on Saturday?
Yep.
Okay. Thank you, Nick. Appreciate it. Stay safe.
Hi, Nick. Hope Tampa's treating you well.
Thanks. It is very well. Thanks, Ed.
For the fans here in Tampa who are, in some ways being introduced to you guys as a team, I was wondering, fans know, but, how much of your guys' identity as a team is, the way that you guys play defense? If you can kind of tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, I mean, I think, Ed, one of the things that I always like to say is, whether you're coming to a game live or watching us on TV, that if you look at a Raptors game or a Raptors team, that we stand out and that we play really hard, and that kind of catches your eye, and we play defense and that catches your eye, and we play a pretty unselfish brand of offense. Like that's what I would hope people see when they do watch us. And that's obviously our Canadian fans and our Torontonians up there love that style that we play. It really suits them. Just going out there and giving a great effort, man. That's like, I think there's a lot to be said for that. So that's what I would say. Hopefully the Tampa fans will find that intriguing and worth watching as well.
And just to follow, obviously, as you guys go into games, you're going to go into arenas where there might be fans, where there might not be fans, obviously not full capacity. But, when you guys look at games in Tampa and the potential of having at least some fans potentially, how much of a home field advantage, can there be with this whole situation, knowing you're not in Toronto, knowing that, it's not going to be a full rack of fans, and that, it could be only maybe be a few thousand?
Oh, that's a difficult one to answer, Ed. I mean, I think that none of us really know at all what the atmosphere or what home court's going to feel like anymore. But I would say this, is we've always been really good on the road. We've always been good at home. Like we travel, our game usually travels well, and it usually travels into pretty much any circumstance. And that's what we're selling, and hopefully we're still producing, right? That we're still producing, and no matter what it feels like, we're going to go out there and play our style of play. I think that's a good way to approach it.
Thanks, Nick.
Thanks, Ed. See you soon.
Hey, Nick, I want to ask you about your second unit. Obviously, last season, there was extended periods where Marc was out or Serge was out, and Chris was the center there for the center unit. Do you see for the second unit a change in sort of style and maybe even identity when it was Chris playing center?
Well, yeah. I mean, I think the style changes. Not either good or bad. It just changes. It's different, right? I mean, there was always a little bit of back and forth with. I mean, Chris is a screener, roller, lob dunk guy, right? And he also can space and hit the perimeter shot here and there. And Marc was more of a throw it to Marc and start cutting, type of second unit center when he was there. We didn't really get to that as much, I didn't think, last year. Again, Marc was out for a lot of it. I kind of remember the first year when Marc first came, we were trying to figure out who played well together, et cetera. And I remember a bunch of times where we would, Serge would start and Marc would be in the second unit, and we'd go almost exclusively to that, playing through Marc on the perimeter, but playing through and all the cutting and all the actions that way because Marc was such a good passer. I envision a second unit this year, just to kind of continue on this realm of a second unit that plays really active, right? I think you'll see a lot of cutting and moving and passing, and the offense will be generating the shots for a number of people rather than a certain player generating the shots, if that makes any sense.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And then just a second thing, I wanted to pass along. Someone reached out to me and said, someone named Gary Smith said to say hello from the Brighton Bears family. So I wanted to pass that along to you, Nick. I don't know if what's the connection there.
Awesome. Go Bears.
Hey, Nick. I know you wearing the Canada basketball mask, like you have there in your hand. So I just wanted to know, it might be too early, but do you have any idea about what the schedule might be looking like? What guys committed to you already? Just a general update on the national team here.
Well, Stephen, the update as it stands today is that, the Olympics are going ahead as planned, right? In some form or another. We don't really know if it's going to be a bubble or if fans will be able to attend or all that kind of stuff. So I think they're preparing for both so that they can get the Olympics in. Obviously, we got the Olympic qualification tournament in the late June, early July, right? So that, again, where that's going to end up being, where we're supposed to be hosting it out in Victoria, and hopefully, again, we'll be able to do that. That's really all the update I have for you right now.
All right. So, are you hopeful that you'll be able to have kind of a full slate of guys they're going to be there in Victoria?
Yeah, I mean, I would say that we will, right? I think all the guys have been really positive about playing. The only thing that stops that guys not playing are guys that are still playing in the NBA, right? That have advanced so far in the.
That could include you.
Yeah, it could include me. Yep.
Yeah.
It better include me, right?
Have you considered what that contingency might look like?
Yeah, well, we've got contingencies for everything, right? We got contingencies for everything. If I'm still coaching, then Gordy, my associate head coach, Gordy Herbert, would take over. In all spots, all the way down from assistants to athletic trainers to nutritionists to everything. There's contingencies in place if some of those people are otherwise engaged. Yeah.